You know that feeling, right? The sun is going down, but you just want one last game before you have to go home. There's this magic to it. It's simple, it's fun, and it kind of taps into something ancient, Survival, discovery, all that good stuff. And what's the most classic game of all? Hide and seek. It's a test of how clever you can be, how patient you can be, all played out in the safety of your childhood. But what happens when that safety just evaporates? I mean, really think about it. What happens when you're hiding, all curled up in the dark, and you realize the person looking for you isn't your friend? Or what if you're the one seeking, and you find something you were never, ever supposed to see? Okay, let's start in the one place you're supposed to be safest, your own home. Our narrator here is 15, home alone with his buddy Chris. And what do? They decide to play hide and seek in the dark. It sounds like harmless fun, doesn't it? So Chris goes to hide first. So our narrator does a full sweep of the house. You know the drill. He's logical, he checks the kitchen, the closets, all the upstairs rooms. It's just a normal game. He's setting the boundaries of their playground. And sure enough, he eventually finds Chris hidden away down in the basement. Everything is totally normal. And then, so now, the narrator hides. He crawls underneath the guest bed and stays completely silent, dead quiet. When Chris finally finds him, he's confused. He tells his friend, "I swear I already checked this room. I heard someone moving around in here. I even heard breathing." But our narrator insists, "Dude, I didn't make a single sound." And boom, that's the moment the game just completely breaks. If our narrator was silent and Chris was searching, whose movements did Chris hear? They try to laugh it off, but that creepy feeling, it's already there, and it's not going away. Later on, they're downstairs watching TV, probably trying to forget about it. And then they hear it. A loud bump from upstairs. They both freeze. And then, that unmistakable, slow creak of floorboards. It's the sound of someone walking, slowly, deliberately, right above their heads. This isn't the house settling. This isn't their imagination. Someone else is up there. They grab a fireplace poker, which, good call, and they creep upstairs. Right away, they notice something is wrong. The guest room door, the one they left open, it's closed now. And as they get closer, they hear a sound coming from inside, a soft, dragging sound, like someone pulling a heavy blanket across the floor. So they burst into the room, ready for anything, but it's empty. The closet's empty. For a split second, they must have felt so relieved, but that feeling doesn't last, because then they hear it, downstairs, the sound of the front door opening, and then clicking shut. The third player in their game wasn't stuck upstairs. That person was moving through the entire house with them. And the boys, they don't stick around. They bolt out the back door and just run. All right, so from the closed-in fear of a house, let's move to the vast, dark emptiness of the outdoors. The fear, though, it's exactly the same. Our next story takes place in the woods behind a group of friends' houses. It was their playground, and of course, the perfect place for a game of hide-and-seek at night. And what's so effective about this story is how it uses something we all understand. During the day, the woods are familiar, they're fun. But at night, they become a totally different world. Shapes get weird, shadows dance around, and every little snap of a twig sounds like a monster. It's the perfect place for fear to grow. So the narrator starts noticing things that are off. While he's hiding, he hears these heavy footsteps crunching on leaves nearby. He figures, oh, that's the seeker. But later, his friend says, nope, wasn't me. I was on the other side of the woods. Then, when the narrator is the one seeking, he hears those same heavy footsteps again, just out of sight in the darkness. And again, none of his friends were anywhere near there. That feeling of being watched just gets stronger and stronger until it becomes impossible to ignore. Hiding near the edge of the woods, our narrator hears something that just freezes his blood. A whisper. It's too quiet to make out the words, but it is definitely human and it is way too close for comfort. Hearing animals is one thing. This was proof someone else was out there with them. But the real kicker comes after the game is over. The group is just hanging out, and one of the younger kids, Matt, just casually asks if anyone else saw the man. He describes this tall figure just standing perfectly still among the trees, just watching them play. And suddenly, all those strange footsteps, that whisper, it all clicks into place. They weren't playing alone. They were being watched the entire time. All right,
our last story might be the most chilling of all, because here, the threat isn't just a presence in the house or a watcher in the woods. This time, it's an active player who wants to change the rules of the game. It all starts on a hot summer afternoon with a group of friends playing in a big backyard out in the country. Just look at how this timeline escalates. It's terrifying. In the afternoon, this slightly older teenager named Keith, who nobody knows, asks to join their game. They say yes, but then he just vanishes. Later, our narrator finds a dirty old rope lying right outside his bedroom window. Weird, right? That night, he hears footsteps walk up to and stop right outside his locked bedroom door. And then finally, at 2 in the morning, he's woken up by a scratching sound at his window. This is it. The moment of truth. The scratching just keeps going. A slow, deliberate scrape against the glass. The narrator knows he shouldn't. Everything in his body is screaming not to, but he has to look. He inches over to the window, heart hammering in his chest, and he carefully pulls open one of the blinds just a tiny crack. And there he is, a silhouette in the dark, a person standing so close to the glass he's just inches away from the narrator's face. He screams, his dad comes running out with a shotgun, and the figure is gone. But the message couldn't be clearer. The game wasn't over. That strange player, Keith, had followed him home, and he was trying to get in. So why? Why do these stories really get under our skin like this? I mean, hide and seek is supposed to be this pure, innocent thing. I think these stories are so scary because they take that innocence and they just twist it into something horrible. They corrupt a core memory from our childhood. It really boils down to these fundamental fears, doesn't it? Our safe spaces, our homes, our backyards, they get violated. The familiar, friendly rules of a game are turned into something hostile. The simple fun of hiding becomes the absolute terror of being hunted. And maybe most importantly, we're left with all these unanswered questions. Who was the person in the house? Who was that man in the woods? What did Keith actually want? And that not knowing, that's what sticks with you, because our brains are hardwired to be terrified of the unknown. So the next time you hear a creak in the floorboards late at night, or you see a shadow flicker at the edge of your vision, you have to ask yourself, is that just the house settling? Is it just a trick of the light? Or has someone else decided it's their turn to seek?